One of the interesting things about working in the triadic model, where myself, my client, and their talk therapist all work together for their mutual goal setting, their life transitions, their well being, whatever it is that we're working on. One of the brilliant things about what happens in this model, and I've got some examples, is the work that we're doing in cuddle therapy, how we're moving the progression or processing emotions that come up when we involve the body is it interplays with the interesting things that come up in talk therapy, and they're not always the same. And so, one story that I love is that I've had a client in the past who we do parts work. Parts work meaning in extreme versions of parts work, people might be familiar with like DID or dissociative identity disorder, but in the more everyday parts work, it's also something called IFS or internal family systems. It's like, oh, this part of me is kind of critical, or this part of me is the young part of me that I get to play with my inner child. People will hear that. That's also could be considered parts work, certainly. And what has been beautiful and interesting about working with this client is that different parts will show up in talk therapy than show up in my session.